So I met you. I was trying to figure this out, man. I think it was like 12 years ago.
Maybe even longer at CHP.
At CHP. And when I was working there at the time, like I did some of my own sessions, but we had a chick that was like scheduling the front desk stuff. So like I wouldn't know who I was going to have sometimes before I showed up and got in the room. And she told me there's somebody coming in, he's going to play some acoustic guitar and a couple songs. And I got there, and I think it was you, your mom, and your brother.
That was one of my homies.
No, I thought your brother came with you. Okay.
He might have been there.
Maybe he was.
Well, yesterday he told me you were 17 when you went in there. I was like, there's no way Bart was 17.
I was 19, I think.
Were you really that?
Yeah, I think I was. Because you got to understand, so 12 years ago, do the math, right? 10 years ago, it would have been 2014, right? Mm-hmm. So my daughter is 10 years old.
Holy shit.
And I was in Mill Hill Revival, and we recorded here, which was in 2010, and that was before that.
God, so this was a long
This might have been 15.
ago.
I mean, yeah, I would think I was 19 or 20 when I went into CHP.
But you came in, and first of all, not knowing what I was getting into, then you like sat down in the control room on the couch and just started playing your first song. And immediately I was like, first of all, distinct, beautiful, emotive vocals. I was like, holy shit, this guy can sing. And instantly, like a song, even though, I mean, it's a long time ago, you were a kid, but it was like a song that felt like a classic, even at that early stage. And so we got into the song. I played keys, right? And maybe some bass or something.
You did backup vocals, too.
Backup vocals. And we started talking, and then you told me you're from Stanley County, and my wife's from Stanley County. I'd never met anybody else from there. And, you know, I spent a lot of time there, like Lake Tillery, Norwood, and all that shit. And I'm like, yeah, my wife's from Stanley County. And you're like, who's your wife? I'm like, Regina Brooks. And turns out y'all went to fucking high school together, grew up together, families knew each other and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And, so it's a small world, dude. But so I like to think that in some small way I got to be a part of, you know, the very beginnings of your musical journey through that process.
It was called Love.
Uh-huh.
And it was the very first song I ever wrote.
First song you ever wrote?
First song I ever
And first
wrote.
time in a studio then,
First
I guess.
time in a studio, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep, that was it.
Wow.
And, you know, it's crazy, like, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but, like, I'm like, man, I don't listen to that song. You know, I hadn't listened to it in 12, 13 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we were at a family gathering, and my mom pulled it up.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, and I was like, damn, this image still holds up a little bit.
It still holds up.
I mean?
Yeah.
It still holds up.
Maybe I should put this in the set. You
Yeah.
know?
But over the so that was how I got introduced to you. And then over the years, we've played some gigs together. I think with the Hot Gates, or maybe it was my solo stuff. You opened up for us at the Visualite one time.
Yeah.
Acoustic.
And Snug one time, I think.
Snug
too,
one time. I've gotten to record you a handful of times with Old North State. More recently, just sort of because we were in the studio, being like on the outside while you had this new sort of unexpected way to find some success through your music, right? I mean, it's a pretty unique niche that I feel like fits you perfectly, though, right?
Absolutely.
And I remember one thing you said, and I might not be able to quote you exactly, but I remember we were outside, like your wife was picking you up, I think, and you were talking about the whole thing with Peanut Patch, and you were like, man, I'm just looking for, or maybe you said something like, I just thank God that I finally found a way to stop having to swing a hammer every day.
Absolutely.
And I was like, that resonated with me, because I remember, like, for us, summers, growing up, laying floors with my dad, and then painting houses.
Yeah.
I drove a box truck, and when we were in our early 20s and we were in the band that we found some success with, it was like, you know, I went to community college for a couple years. I didn't have an education. I didn't have anything other than like this blue collar work where I'm going to break my back every day, or music, you know? And when you said that, I'm like, dude, I know fucking exactly what that is, you know? And if anybody that I've come across in this town, you know, or around here deserves it, man, it's you. You've got, I mean, everything. I'm a huge fan. Always just try to follow what you've been up to, man. And so we're happy to have you here. Bart Lattimore.
Hey.
Our
and
guest.
you also still swing a hammer.
Hey, where's my camera at?
Oh, you're right here.
Bart
Right here.
But you still swing a hammer, though. Don't you build, like, tiki bars at your house and stuff?
So that was actually right before I got this gig.
Okay.
You know, I told my wife, you know, I mean, I'm a commercial actor now and do voiceover work and all kind of stuff. And so I'm still in the entertainment industry, and it's helping my music, too.
Right.
But I told my wife, I was like, I'm not selling my tool bag, like my tool belt's staying in the closet because I never know when I'm going to have to pull that thing back out.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, I've made it a point to not even do like household fixer-upper stuff. Like right now, I'm feeling good not touching it. It's got a lot of dust in the corner. So.
That's good. That's a good place to be.
But you've been able to use that, and we can talk more about it as we get into it, but like you've been able to use that as a way to promote your own music too, right? You guys are doing like festival dates and
absolutely,
right, where like you get to perform, but also you're doing like the Boilin Bart thing at the same time, right?
Yeah, and the cool thing is I've had people, they say like, man, you're so good at this character, the way you've built this character, and I'm like, the character's just me.
That's why it sells, because it's not a character.
I just get to just be me, go out there, and I just talk shit to people, And the fun thing is, I don't go up to people and go, hey, 4 o'clock, I'm going to be up on the big stage, I don't say shit. So I just go out there and make friends with them, and then they're standing down there half drunk, and they're like, holy shit, it's the peanut guy, So I just don't say nothing to nobody.
That's the best salesman they could have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Wow. Tell us how you got that, because I mean, you told me a little bit about it, but like, what was the...
So I had a buddy from high school who, he went to school, like a community college, and got, some small certificate or degree in marketing, and... started his own company, and then ended up linking up with a larger company who was the head of marketing for Peanut Patch. And, I was building piers at the time, building docks out on Lake Tillery. Been doing it for 5 years at that point. Just got off work. I'm sitting at my tiki bar.
Yeah. That you built.
Yep, that I built. I'm almost half lit. 45 minutes after
Almost.
work. Almost half lit.
There's no such thing with you. There's no such thing.
And I get a call, and he's like, hey, and I didn't know who it was. This is before the scam callers hit real bad. And I said, hey, what's going on? Who is this? He's like, this is James. And I was like, James? He's like, yeah, James Hurley. We went to school together. I'm like, hey, what's up, James? He said, I'm working for the Boiled Peanut Company, Peanut Patch, the ones you get in the store. I was like, I know exactly who they are. I eat them all the time. And he was like, do you want to write a jingle for him? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll write it. I'll try my hand at that, Yeah. He was like, well, I'm going to send you some bullet points, like phrases they want to be in the song. And he was like, I'm just going to, do what you can do, full creative control. And I wrote the hook, and I wrote it in like 7 minutes.
Right.
And I just pretty much put all the bullet points, and I wrote it to my melody that I had. And I told my wife, and she was like, that's perfect. And I'm like, God, I'm about to message it to him. And she was like, no. She was like, send it tomorrow. I'm like, why? And she was like, because you just wrote it in 7 minutes. It's going to look weird. Like,
right.
Let some air breathe a little bit,
Sit on it for a little bit.
So I did the next morning. I sent it to him.
So you didn't drop the mic immediately?
No, I didn't. And that was my play, dude. Like, and she's helped me out a lot with stuff like that through this. My wife's been kind of a little bit of a liaison, because she's a little bit more professional than I am,
Right.
But so I waited till the next day. I sent it, and actually I called the guy, and because I had a crappy phone at the time, and I didn't know how to send videos and stuff. Like I couldn't send videos to iPhone and all this crazy stuff, and they were grainy. And so I called the guy, and he was like, "Hey, can you send me the track?" I was like, "I don't really know how to do that." I was like, "But I can just play it for you." Right. So I just sat right there on the phone and played it for him.
Oh, wow.
And he lives on Lake Tillery. He was like, I want you to come meet me today. I'm like, all right. So hop in the car, go down there. He lives on that peninsula out there, the big peninsula. And I was like, man, first of all, like drive by this place every day. Like I'm always like, kind of like I'm in dreamland. Like it's my house every time I pass it,
Right.
Yep.
And get up there, and I have like this 2-hour conversation that feels like 15 minutes with this guy. And at the end, he's like, hey, well, we're going to buy the song. He's like, but we want you to be like our guy. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, we want you to sell these peanuts. And I'm like, I don't know. Let me sit on it, And this was another one that my wife gave me. She's a smart lady, dude. I'm telling you. She goes, so I get back home. I get a little buzzed up.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Sitting there, and I'm like, I got this look on my face. And my wife's like, what are you thinking about, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to do this. She's like, what do you mean? And I was like, what if it like messes up my image? She's like, what fucking image? She's like, if you don't take this job, I was like, you know what, you're right. So like I didn't want it to like selling out or I'm not a tough guy anymore. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah.
I mean, you wanted to stick to your guns. That's the thing. I actually have a funny story about you. I won't.
Oh no.
No. It's just. It's one where
Get ready, Bart.
I was up at the Diamond. This was like 15 years ago, maybe. And
Was I working there?
no. You like came screeching up in an old. Was it a Camaro? What did you have? What was the old car? It was either yours or it was you and Robbie. Like, and you were like pissed as shit because you said you were talking to some guy and you were talking about music, playing music, and you're like, yeah, I'm just a country boy. And you said he told you, you're like, you're not country, and you're like, motherfucker, I'm country. Come to my hometown and I'll show you what real country is. But you've always been that way. I mean, not playing
and
a part.
that's why it works, because it's like, how does that fuck up your image when that's who you are? You know what I mean? Like,
and once I knew they gave me like pretty much full creative control as long as I stay and keep it PG-13.
Right.
But like they gave me full creative control. They just so I didn't it was easy. I mean, and it's crazy. Like it's each level that I go with this job. It just seems seamless, and I don't know if they're lying to me, but they're like, "Man, you're doing great." And I'm like, "I'm not doing anything, I'm just being me." So it's definitely worked out.
Well, you're doing great at being yourself, and that's an important
Well,
thing.
I have some words of advice for you.
God.
Here we go.
God damn, you turn yourself around now. Let's go, bro. You gotta know when to hold them.
You gotta know.
You gotta know when to fold them. You gotta know when to walk away.
He just came up.
You gotta know when to run. Thank you.
He just
There
came
you
up
go.
with that.
Was that Kenny Loggins or
That's Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers?
that makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Yeah. You know I love you, man.
Yeah, I love you too, Jesus Christ over here.
Caesar.
That shit is weird, man. That shit is weird.
What's weird?
It's weird. What are you talking
Jesus
about?
Christ.
That's what we used to call him, Jesus Christ.
I know. Jeremy's got a tattoo of it.
Yes.
Like right there.
Yeah.
He showed it to me. I was like, why did you do that?
No.
Why did you
'cause
do that?
We had this whole thing, BTJ and me, where he was going to get a tattoo of me and I was going to get a tattoo of him. And I was just like, I let it go, I was like, whatever, man. Fuck it,
Dude, he'll do shit to spite you real quick, dog.
That motherfucker showed up with a damn tattoo.
You were holding a lamb.
No, a chicken. Rodney.
Chicken.
Is that what it was?
Jesus Christ holding a chicken like a lamb.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So Rodney was like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, Rodney, fuck, I don't know, man. No. But Jeremy went through with it.
Hell
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden.
It's your face, like your face. You're holding.
It's like half of his body.
Yeah, it's like
and
a bust, or longer than a bust.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
the
like
whole
Jesus
thing
Christ,
was
but he's
like-
holding a chicken. And
The whole
And it's
thing
got
is
his
like,
face.
The whole thing is like we're like over each other's like belt line, and that's it.
Today's episode of For the Birds was shot at Susu Studio in Charlotte, North Carolina. Susu is my home base. It is also the home base of music producer and video editor extraordinaire Chris Waldorf. If you're an artist or a band looking for a place to cut your next record, look us up at www.susustudio.com. No. I'm trying to say that I found out recently that you were like a pro clogger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah, that's true.
Clog. He can clog, and he can fucking roller skate.
One of my first jobs was at a gas station, and
It's gonna be your last job too.
I would pump gas and wipe windshields. But what
You
I
are
also
old.
do,
It's like still a full service gas station. What is that? They called it a service station. You could get candlesticks and molasses.
All right, let's get the boat back on.
We're gonna get back on track here.
On track.
Yeah, sorry, man. I didn't mean to derail y'all.
We got plenty
I
of
don't
time.
wanna
We got
edit.
plenty of time to get derailed.
I
okay?
like some of that story. We're gonna keep some of it.
So let's talk about your song list. So the way we do this show is and I told you all this beforehand, but the premise is we look at your life and we think about, or you think about, what is the soundtrack to your life. Obviously, that could take forever to go over the soundtrack to your life. But what are the cornerstones, like the songs that you feel like had the most impact. You know, in your case, and you know, other people are bringing in songs that they've written in some cases, or songs they've been a part of creating, but songs that had some kind of that did something that helped, you know, kind of motivate you or had a lasting impact on you. The order doesn't matter as much as it's up to you. It's your story. So like,
well, first of all, I want to make sure I said this. That 5-song list, it changes like every couple years.
We talk about
Oh,
that. Yeah,
we talked about that on an episode. I was like, everyone's like, "What's your favorite song?" I'm like, "It depends on the day."
Yeah,
I mean, I
absolutely.
feel differently.
Yeah.
So when I pick those songs, they are definitely cornerstones, and some are just ones that, like the Billy Joel song. Like I just heard that in the past 5 years, and it just really resonated with me.
Okay.
And then you know the other ones are kind of like the beginning of my music, and then one was like an epiphany, like, oh shit, I've been doing this wrong. This is what I need to be doing, type deal. So.
Right.
Well, which one do you want to start with?
I think it's best to start with the Bob Marley tune.
Okay.
So when
Hold up. always quick on the draw, man.
You didn't know.
Let's build it up a little bit. Let's get, you know,
Put some soap on it.
gotta get some lubrication on this thing.
So I guess my first song would be the Bob Marley tune. And it Three Little Birds, but really that whole Legends album that they put out in the 90s, I think, and they remastered it again, or they remastered it in the 90s, I believe. When we were coming up, I was probably maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7. My brother was probably 7 and I was 5. Anyways, my mom, she was like, all right, it's time to like start introducing them into music. I had already started like singing, you know, like when I was younger, I was just singing, making up my own goofy songs. So I think my mom knew that if anybody out of me and my brother, it would have been me who would have went in that direction.
Is she musical?
Yeah. So her and my father, they met. They did a dinner theater in Boone, Horn in the West. They met at Horn in the West in Boone in the 70s.
Okay.
So they were both, you know, singers and actors and performers.
Right.
And you know, my brother was just a super goofy kid, and I was a little bit more serious, you know, than he was. She gave him a MC Hammer, Too Legit to Quit tape, cassette tape. She gave me a Bob Marley Legends tape. Okay. So the first music that I sat down and put in my tape player was Bob Marley. And that kind of shaped me, you know, into listening to more like R&B, like I love Boyz II Men and, you know, Jadakiss, and like into the 90s I was listening to more like hip hop and R&B.
Right.
And so yeah, you can play the song now if you want to. Let's listen to it.
You ready to
Because
roll?
it's going to
Okay,
lead
go
me
ahead,
into the next song.
All right.
All right.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds, it's by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you.
And it's really prevalent especially in all country music, but especially in like 90s to 2000s country music. I mean, you listen to these guitar parts that these pop country guys are doing, and they could very well be a nursery rhyme.
Yeah,
You know?
everything's singable.
Yep.
Yeah, those are some like my favorite guitar solos that you can hum back. You remember.
There's something to be said of their 3 chords and the truth, you know, like simplistic, make it relatable, but leave a little air in there so people can make their own judgment of how they want to feel about the song. You know.
Well, that's kind of like what I was saying when I first heard, when we recorded together all those years ago, is when I heard your music, what made it feel like classic music to me is the familiarity about it. Like there's something, like you're a unique person, you're your own individual person, so anything that comes to you is going to have that filter. But I love that about a song when I hear it and it's like, man, this is its own thing, but something about it feels like I've heard it before. It's just it's got a new take, you know? Yeah, because I mean, I don't think the average person really understands music well enough to get beyond that. The average person just wants something that's palatable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like this song's like self-explanatory. Like you
Yeah,
know,
you don't. There's no mystery. Yeah.
Although I think there is like I don't know if I read it somewhere or heard it somewhere, but when they're talking about 3 little birds on my doorstep, that's because they used to, they're smoking joints and they would take their weed out and they would get the seeds out. And while they're sitting on their door,
the birds would come eat the seeds.
They would come eat the seeds.
Ah.
So I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a funny little.
We're gonna go with that because I like that.
I like that a lot too.
Or maybe I just fucking made it up. Just
Hey,
now.
well, you
it
know
makes
what?
sense, but I mean, like
We're spreading
smoking
that.
weed is, it's relaxing. It makes you feel good, so it still fits in that same.
Well,
vibe,
I mean,
you know?
one of the things that he's saying is, one of the most positive things on the planet. Don't worry about a thing because every little thing is going to be all right.
Right.
I use that term all the time.
I try to.
I use it daily. Everything is going to work out.
Right.
Yeah.
And also just the sheer simplicity in the lyrics. I mean, and I've carried. You can hear that in my newest song, in Outside Dog. It is. There's not much vocal vibrato, and I'm not dancing around. I'm only singing it because if I talked it, you wouldn't listen to the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah.
I'm telling a story, and it's the same thing. Now, obviously, Bob Marley, his vocals are incredible.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's more about, like you said, that positive vibe that and it shines through. And if you keep that simplicity in your lyrics or in your melodic structure, then it does make it palatable for people.
Yeah.
And you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that carries into.
What you got?
So like I'm saying, all right, so I was heavy into doing R&B, and I loved R&B and like the late 90s era of, I mean, I loved, I'm not going to say that, never mind, but I loved pop rap, I guess is what you call it. Like the top 40, I was listening to Dr. Dre and
Jay-Z.
3 6 Mafia and Jay-Z.
I still like that. I love all that
That's
shit.
good shit. Yeah.
But I had a voice, so I was doing like Boys to Men songs, and I really, I didn't feel like I had the exact pipes for that, and it honestly just didn't fit me culturally, you know.
Yeah.
So this is when I'm starting to get a little bit older, and I'm getting more into like the college scene music, like obviously I listen to a lot of Dave Matthews Band. I still love Dave Matthews Band. But like there was this guy named Corey Smith, and he was just like a guitar player, and he wrote like country songs, but they were kind of more like pop R&B too. It was kind of weird, but really great artist. And he was in the vein. I was playing like Edwin McCain and stuff like that, like college kind of hippie stuff. But I was a country boy, so I'd like get up there and sing a Edwin McCain song or a Boys to Men song, and then get off stage and talk to people. I'm like, hey, what's going on, everybody? And they were like, that doesn't really fit. And that carries into my next song. Is I grew up listening to country music because I lived in the country, but like I kind of shunned that because it was like the norm. So I wanted to listen to the R&B. I wanted to listen to hip hop, and then it got me into I was listening to punk rock and just more obscure stuff. And my playlist in high school it would go from that R&B and hip hop to Slayer or like Pantera was one of my favorite bands.
Oh, that's still one of my favorite bands.
And I heard it was kind of like a B-side tune, but Dinosaur by Hank Jr.
Right.
And I learned it on guitar, and it fit my voice so well.
Yeah.
And I played it at I played it at this coffee house in Ballantyne, and people were just like, because I was young, skinny, you know, I didn't have long hair, beard, tattoos, you know, I just kind of had the college boy haircut, clean shaven, you know, skinny, almost preppy looking white boy.
Right.
And but I had straight up dork, dude. And I had this raspy, deeper toned. I could sing Hank Jr. like Hank Jr. with just a little bit of soul.
Right.
And that was when I realized, like, I could sing Edwin McCain good, but like, you got a skinny, preppy white boy singing Edwin McCain. Everybody's like, hey, let me get a shot of espresso. You know, they're doing something else.
And it's kind of expected.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah. And
then they see me get up there, and it's like they hear that come out, and they turn around. And they're like, then they're locked in.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my niche. It's like, and then that's when I started learning Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings.
How old were you at this point?
I was 18. This was right before I recorded with you.
Okay. So when did you start playing? Like playing guitar and
I was about 17.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was a little bit older. I didn't play guitar. Like when I was younger, I sang in church and stuff like that. Like I knew I could sing, and I would sing, you know, like Drew Hill tunes and shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't start playing. I mean, I just got, as I became a young adult and I wasn't living with my mom anymore, I just got bored, and I was like, I need to do something. And you know, I wasn't as well versed in, you know, social settings. So like I kind of had a hard time with girls and stuff, you know. I was in a new place.
Yeah.
I was living in Ballantyne with a family friend, and you know, I'm like the poor kid, you know, like so I go out and hang out. So I was like, I just sat in this house with that a Yamaha guitar, and just like, I'm gonna learn how to play guitar. Wow. And I did a lot of Eagles stuff too. Like I knew the whole Eagles Desperado album front to back.
Yeah.
And I used to play shows just doing Eagles songs. People were like, is this an Eagles cover band?
Yeah.
But so then I kind of started venturing out. That's what made me want to write, was just once I got that feel for that countryside, which is funny because Love is not a country song. But the first song I ever wrote was, you know, oddly enough, was a fictitious story about the girl I never had.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's the thing is when you because I remember that it wasn't a country song, but your voice still, you always sounded like a country singer to me. But with soul, it felt like an old R&B song, but with a country voice, which, you know, you hear like. I mean,
now that's
was
huge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it was like your own thing, man, and it worked so perfectly. I mean, it's funny, dude. Like so listening to like Hank Williams Jr., Merle Haggard, that's what basically was like. You were like, okay, I've found my avenue,
right? And I knew even back then, I was like, I have to set myself apart from everybody else that's doing this too. So like, it worked in my favor that I didn't look like I sang that kind of music. But I was like, if I can throw that little bit of soul, and this is before Chris Stapleton got big. This is before Marcus King and all these people, these soul singers writing country songs, you know. So I was kind of doing the same thing. I didn't have a marketing department. But
so if you had a chance, or if you had a choice, which one of those, like, you know, four guys, you know who the four guys are? Mm-hmm. Who would you choose over anybody else?
With the old guys or the new guys?
Old guys.
Merle Haggard is
the man.
He's probably the best singer, in my opinion. You know, I mean, he's like up there with, you know, Frank Sinatra to me.
Right.
Yeah, he lived the life, man.
The thing is a lot of those country singers had a gimmick with, like everybody does. Everybody's got, you know, their gimmick or whatever, what they do, their inflection that they do that sets them apart from everybody else.
Right.
Merle Haggard would talk to you. I mean, it was so effortless. Mm-hmm. Like, that I'm throwing horseshoes over my left shoulder. You know, he just like move into things differently than anybody else did.
Yeah.
So that Merle Haggard's my guy for sure.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that big time.
Yep. Amazing. Well, you want to listen to the song here? It's Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Do you happen to know any old Hank Williams song? 'Cause you see, I'm a hat. Excuse me, man, but where's the door? Used to be, I had a lot of fun in this old hangout. We get stoned at the jukebox and stay out of fights. Now and then, light a little smoke in the truck out back.
I love that shit, man.
Well, and I've carried that on, through Outside Dog is in that same melody, and so is that. That's what Daddies Do. It's got some humor in it, and I want to be completely transparent because I owe that a lot of my melody structure. I mean, I basically ripped off John Prine, like inadvertently,
Well,
like
can't help that. Yeah,
I listened to a lot of John Prine, and I've actually moved some stuff around. I was like, that sounds too much like John Prine, but I mean,
you could be ripping off somebody worse though.
yeah, that
John
is
Prine's
true.
It's like it's so hard not to do that as a writer because at a point it's like paying homage to these people, I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're a person like I know I'm this way. I mean, I've listened to so much music that's influenced me. I'm never intentionally trying to steal anything, you know what I mean? But it's like I'll never forget those melodies, man, and they're gonna influence the way I shape mine. I think it's impossible to not do that.
Well, that's why they've redone the laws on copyright stuff because there's only so many configurations, especially in country music.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's
why
formulaic.
Yep.
Yep.
And I mean, and when I say I ripped him off, it's just the vibe,
It's the vibe. It's like the little, like you were talking about, the little subtleties of like the vocal inflections and things like that, man.
Dude, 90% of today's musicians have a song where they do a Bob Dylan inflection.
absolutely.
I hear Bob Dylan inflections all the time, and I'm like, and I mean, I'm a musician, so I hear that, and then I'm like, I do the same thing with other. I try to stay away from that too. What's funny is I've had people in podcasts are like, what new artists are you listening to? And I'm like, I honestly try. I listen to some new artists, like I listen to some of Tyler Childers stuff, just because I like his flow.
Yep.
And I'll throw on Top 40 radio on the way to the beach or something like that, even Top 40 country radio. But I try not to listen to a lot of it. And people are like, why not? I got this great artist and this great artist. It's like, because if I listen to them, and I know this from experience, 2 months later, I'll write a banger. And then I'm like, fuck, this is great. Go to bed, wake up, and you're like, you listen to it, and you're like, I know why that's a banger, because it's a fucking Tyler Childers song. So I try to not stay, I don't want to be subconsciously influenced. Mm-hmm. So I literally, my radio is just old music. Because it's like, I can be influenced by them because it's far enough out,
Right.
I can pull some inflections from a couple of different people and build a really cool song. But you got something that's super popular. You try to build a cool song on that, you're really ripping them off,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the cool thing about older music, especially older country music, is there's this thing called, which I know and we're all aware of, cowboy chords.
Yep.
And there's no money past the third fret.
That's all I know how to play, dog.
Yeah. So when folks are creating tunes out of that box, that small box, then you got to be somewhat creative.
Yep.
Because you're in the small box. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it makes these folks really come alive.
Yeah, because that's the limitation of it. It's like it challenges you to be even more creative because you have less space to explore, right? So if you don't want to be repetitive and do something that's already been done, you've got to find a new way.
We ain't Christopher Columbus up in this motherfucker. Fuck that shit.
But do you have any guilty pleasures like modern music? Because I'll tell you mine if you have any.
I mean, this is kind of a hot take right now, but dude, Morgan Wallen really can't do bad right now.
Right.
I mean, except for in his personal life. But I mean,
yeah.
and I wanted to not like him, But his songs are so fucking catchy.
Yeah.
And my wife likes him too, and she doesn't like anything like that. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I do listen to some Morgan Wallen. And I mean, I think like people like Luke Combs, like it's kind of got that more 90s country vibe a little bit. Like I like that too.
That was the heyday for me.
All right, folks, if you like what you've been listening to today on For the Birds Vodcast, be sure to head on over to our Patreon.
We just made it.
It's amazing. Patreon.com/For the Birds Vodcast.
But yeah, go there and pay for some stuff and give us
What
some
are they
money.
going to find there? What do they get?
I don't even know how fucking Patreon works.
We're going to give you
Oh, bonus material,
bonus material, unedited versions of the shows,
which you really want, trust me.
shorts.
Not our shorts, but shorts of... I'll send you some shorts. I'll
They
put them
can-
in a Ziploc
I will
bag.
definitely auction off some shorts.
I'll go jogging first, and then I'll put them in a Ziploc bag, and then you can have them.
Sweaty, used running shorts from Jonathan Erickson.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. And then you can get, what else? Some just some bonus stuff. We're going to figure it out. This is still, this is growing, and we're learning. We're going to make some cool shit. Head on over, patreon.com/For the Birds Vodcast. Show some support. What did we say?
I think it's the Billy Joel song.
Vienna by Billy Joel.
Okay.
Are we gonna do that now?
Yeah.
So we're not gonna play it just yet, I don't think.
No. Let's talk about it.
So my last song that's not mine, this one I found like 2 years ago,
Okay.
and this is why I put it on there, because it speaks to every person that I know when they were young. And at the time, my niece, she was just about to turn to 18, and she was set and ready to go into the military, and everything was good. And on her 18th birthday, she popped smoke and hopped in her boyfriend's car and left. And, she's since, come to her senses, and now she's doing great and everything's awesome. But I heard this song. It somehow popped up on my YouTube or something. And I just hit play on it. And I listened to it. And, dude, I was, like, thinking about my niece. And then I started thinking about me and growing up. And then this is where, like, the fucking tears started coming out.
Yeah.
I started thinking about my daughter. And I'm like, that was the first real, I'm like, holy shit, my daughter, my baby,
Yeah.
my little girl is going to be a grown woman someday.
Mm-hmm. She's 10?
She's 9. She'll be 10 Christmas Day.
Okay.
And it's like, it kind of messed with me.
Yeah.
But it also kind of like helped me, because I go back and I think about, my niece, and it makes me think like my little perfect daughter is going to fuck up one time. But she's got good genes and she's got great parents, and she can bring it all back around. Just like most of the people in our family, you have downfalls when you're younger and you learn from them, and and you move forward. Yeah. And I feel like that's what this song is about,
Right.
And to be honest with you, just the melody and the way he kicks it in, I mean, it's just a really great tune.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you this, because one of the last podcasts we did, I was like tearing up and crying. Do you cry when you listen to songs by yourself?
Yes.
By yourself or
Absolutely.
around other people?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
If it's the right song and it hits me right, I like a good cry.
I do too, man.
It's
Like
therapeutic.
Yeah.
it's
That's what we were talking about.
it's
yeah.
tough to do around other people sometimes, but like it almost hit me.
I'm a crybaby. I don't give a fuck.
You've never cried around me though. I don't think.
No?
I don't. Well, no, you have.
I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, like songs do that, man. And I know you. I've seen you cry listening to music, so I know.
That's because I'm a soft-hearted individual,
I know.
man.
What did
I am.
I know. I know you are.
what did Jeremy say? It's because you have 2 ears and one heart. It's like,
Yeah. He's like, if you have 2 ears and one heart, how could you not cry?
yeah.
I mean,
when
that's
it fucking hits you, it hits
Yeah.
you, and it's just like.
And the thing is, it's like, you don't think it's a song. When you cry over a song, it's like, and it's like, where'd that come from? You know,
Yeah.
like it hits you like, holy shit, dude. Like,
yeah,
sometimes I have to turn it off.
I'm the same
Yeah.
way.
Cause like, I'm getting too much into it. I'm giving this song too much right now.
yeah.
Yeah, I watch those fucking Food Line commercials, bro, and I'll start crying and stuff. I'm like, damn, these
Please,
motherfuckers are like,
Are you pregnant, bro?
You are emotional.
They giving away food and shit. God damn.
You're so soft.
Man, I'm going to buy one of them boxes right now. Get my keys. I'm headed to the Food Lion.
But this song, and we talked about this too, like songs mean different things to different people, but actually we did a little research on this song, but it's about him. I like your version of what it means.
I know it has a different version, and I looked a little bit into it, and I stopped because I wanted to keep my...
I'm not going to say it then.
No, tell me, dude. Please.
But we talked about this too. That's what's awesome about a song is like nobody's gonna. I mean, if you have super fans, they're gonna like. You can go and research what a Billy Joel song's about, right?
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's like the song is gonna mean something to you if you write it, and it's gonna be for you in that way, and maybe the people that are close to you in your life are gonna know it's about that thing. But when the average fan listens to the song, they're not going to know that. It's going to mean something to them that's completely different. And that's what's beautiful about it. It's when you can connect with them and they feel like the song was written for them. It's about me and this thing that I'm going through and this thing in my life. And it's, you didn't mean that at all, but you were able to communicate that emotion. The emotion's the same, right?
Absolutely. And there's some like I've got one song right now that's that I haven't released that's a little politically driven. It was after the Nashville shooting. Mm-hmm. And I leave a lot of air in it, and everybody thinks that it's a love song, right? Or that it's about, a really bad relationship, and it's like, well, it kind of is.
Right?
It's just not a bad relationship that I have with my wife. It's a bad relationship that I have with our government. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a man and woman thing.
Right. And when they ask me, they're like, what is that song about? I say, it's about whatever you think it's about.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too is it's famously like some artists actually lie and they say it's about something that it's not. And I've
for
you've
the angle.
probably done that.
Yeah.
And I've probably done that.
Well,
but
it's cool. Well, I've had people ask me what a song I wrote was about, and if I try to explain it, it never is gonna be as effective as if I just play the song.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like I couldn't say it any better than I said it when I wrote the song. Like that is what it's about, and I could try to analyze it and talk to you about it, but it's that coupling of melody and chord progression and all the production, all the stuff that we do as a band, all of that supports the message and the energy, and that's how we communicate what the song's about. So I could sit here and try to tell you, but it's not going to be as effective.
Absolutely. Don't let me ruin the picture you had in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it spoke to you. Yeah. And it doesn't it means exactly what you think, because if it helped you, then that's exactly what it means.
I will say, and I'm not going to explain the song because you're actually not that far off base, to be honest with you. It is kind of like it's a broad picture.
Have y'all listened to this song?
I played it. Yeah, I played it before.
Oh, really? It's such a good tune.
Yeah, I grew up listening to Billy Joel, and I think he has something. I'm not like, I don't go to Billy Joel, the catalog, and listen all the time, but he has a select few songs that I think are some of the best songs written in the past 50 years. He's got some amazing, and this is one of them. This is and even if you just listen on the surface,
fucking doing
it.
He's still doing it.
I just saw an ad. He's going back out on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Let's play it.
Let's play it. Let's do it.
Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. But then if you're so smart, tell me, why are you still so afraid? Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day. Hey, but you know that when the truth is told, that you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you.
You know, it's so good. It's the only one we played all the way through.
Yeah.
Like, I want to listen to it again.
Yeah, like I could,
it's
that's-
such a good
It's
song.
a great driving song too, man. And you know, that's what, like, say, that's why I'm glad you didn't tell me the exact meaning, because I can play that now on the way home and think about my baby girl or my niece, and I'll tear up.
Yeah.
It's just got so much emotion in it.
All right.
So do we need a bowl or something to put these in? Or we just
Well,
need
I'm going to heat them up because
I got a bowl.
that's what it said.
So is that how you heat the boiled peanuts up, or you?
Yeah, you do. You usually, but you can eat them straight out the can. So, I went to the factory, like the plant where they, and it's crazy how they do it. I mean, obviously, it's like mass produced.
Yeah.
But the owner of the company, McCall, like, I mean, he owns a humongous corporation, and the guy is in muck boots and overalls, and he is on the line with a hard hat on
Working
every
it.
single day.
Wow, that's cool.
And like their process, we're actually about to release the. We did like a tour through the factory, and I'm been doing the voiceovers for it. I kind of like robbed the guy from How It's Made, you know, like and I
Right,
just,
right.
like put my voice in that tone. But like they are so select. You know, you'll get some. I'm sure that if people watch this and they're peanut patch, you know, they're gonna say, "Well, I'll get some rotten ones or some black ones." It's like, but you do not know how much goes into, like, they pick through all these peanuts.
Right.
And they pull them out of the ground. They drive them straight to the factory. They're cooked and in the can the same day they come out of the ground.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And they can them. They do like quality control first. They can them, and they put them in these big pressure cookers. They cook them in the can. So they go in the can raw with the brine.
Okay.
And then they cook them in a pressure cooker.
And
So you can eat. What I'm saying is they're cooked. You can eat them straight out of the can, but
Right.
they're better. They're better.
I'm going to heat them up, and then we'll eat some. And also, you are on the back of the can.
I am. You know, you can't see it too well on the small cans, but they immortalized me in a cartoon.
Well, I figured we wouldn't eat many more than this, I don't think. But
You trying to tell me you got some FaceTime, bro?
Yeah, man, it was kind of crazy, and they kind of snuck it on me because there was another guy. It was like a guy bending down to like grab a bushel of peanuts, and they didn't tell me they were gonna do it. They were just like, "Oh, hey, check this out." And like I said, on the big gallon cans,
right.
you can see it well. You know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh man!" And they sent me the image. I'm gonna blow it up, and it's on the back of a T-shirt too, real big. And I
Nice.
saved a couple of T-shirts. So.
Bart Lattimore on the back.
On the back of a national can.
So your God-given name is Bartholomew?
No, I'm Matthew Barton.
Matthew Barton.
Matthew Barton Lattimore. And my mom just always called me Bart. So I go by my middle name.
Huh.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yep, Matthew's I remember being a kid, I was like, I hated Bart. Because it was like, I was born in 1985. So this was like, when it's 95, you're 10 years old, and your name's Bart.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like Bart Simpson,
Bart
Bart
Simpson,
Simpson, Bart
yeah.
Simpson,
Wait a
Bart
minute.
Simpson.
Born in 85?
Yeah, bro, you're old, dog.
We've been over this, man.
Yeah, man. We're trying to not like hit on you, dog. Make hits on you, dog. Not yet, 85, man. What are you, 62? What year were you born?
He was born in
Damn
1915.
it, Bart.
Oh man,
So
he's the ageless wonder. He's actually a vampire.
He's actually found the fountain of youth. It's bizarre, but
and it tastes like bourbon.
I don't drink bourbon. 54, motherfucker.
54 years old. So
Yeah.
what year were you born? I don't want to do the math.
I know it.
69.
60. Hey, that's a dude.
Summer of love, baby.
Yeah, dude. So you were.
I was born in the 60s, bro.
September 1st.
man. You look good.
He knows.
You were born right after the
knows.
summer of
so
love.
you're 50.
man.
What? 50.
My first concert
55.
was Elvis Presley.
Jeez Louise, dude. Quit.
Yeah.
Quit talking. You're aging yourself.
All right.
Talk to us about before we listen to it about I Got You and the girl you're singing with on this.
Yeah.
her
So
name?
I wrote this song probably a year ago. Mm-hmm. And I put it up on, like Facebook and TikTok and stuff, and it did pretty well. But it was what I write ditties. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't stay on a song too long. I never stay on a song long enough to do a bridge, and sometimes I don't stay on a song long enough to put a chorus in it. You know, I just write 4 verses, get in, get off, get out, and that's kind of what I did with this song. But like every word and every place in this song is the story of me and my wife and my daughter, and I thought I was done with it, and I went in to record it. Well, let me back up just a little bit. I'm sorry. So this girl, Danny Carr, she had some viral fame on America's Got Talent.
Okay.
And she sounds like a mix between Stevie Nicks and Janis Joplin. So she's got this raspy,
It's a good mix.
really unpolished almost, but just she hits all her points, but you can feel it. You know, it's real, it's genuine. And I saw her before I ever met her. Come to find out, she lives in Statesville.
Okay.
And I did a like a Roots in the Round session. I've done a couple of them. There's guys, Grassroots Entertainment. They're out of Statesville. You guys need to link up with them too. They're doing they took an old jail from the 1800s and turned it into a listening room.
Wow.
And they have artists from mostly from North and South Carolina, but they have artists from all over the country come in there and play.
It's in Statesville?
Yeah, it's in Statesville. Roots in the Round, Grassroots Entertainment. Y'all look that stuff up.
Yeah.
And so I did a Roots in the Round, and she was there. And I was like, hey, I know this girl, you know. And I was talking with the guys who put it on. They're like, yeah, she lives here. And I'm like, man. So I watched her play, and I was like, man, she's so good. And I called my wife, and I was like, hey. I was like, I'm at this Roots in the Round thing. I was like, guess who's here? Because she had seen her too. I was like, Danny Carr's here. She's like, why? And I was like, she lives in Statesville, you know. And I was like, I think she should do I Got You as a duet. Because we had talked about doing it as a duet, and we had loosely talked about some other people asking some other girls to do it with me. And, you know, we just never found somebody. And, you know, obviously, I wanted my wife to be comfortable. Like, I wanted my wife, this song's about her.
Right.
You know, so having another female sing her parts, because my wife, and I try to get my wife to do it, and she's like, I'm not singing.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah.
But when I told her that, she was like, dude, ask her. She's like, I felt like my wife was kind of like, she ain't gonna do that shit. You know?
Right, yeah.
And dude,
Calling
she
your
was,
bluff.
Yeah, I literally
Right.
I had a couple drinks and I just went up to her. I was like, hey, will you sing on my song? And she was like, absolutely.
The first time you met her?
First time I met her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I asked her, I was like, hey, I got this song. It's not finished,
Yeah.
but will you sing on it? And I like played it for her right there, you know, like nerding out, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she was like, absolutely, I'd love to do it.
Oh, wow.
And it's something that I thought that I've never been great in the studio. I'm a live performer and I'm starting to realize now that I can get better recordings if I don't try to play it like I play live.
Yeah.
You know, like I can pull back a little bit because the mics are hotter. You're catching every sound. And this song has made me a better recording artist. Just because we went through the first pass, and it just didn't sound right. And I was like, we thought it was done. And I was like, dude, it needs a chorus. Like, it's got to have a chorus.
Right.
And I don't know. And the chorus is like what makes it now. It's so big, round. It's like you're right here. You're going on this journey. And then all of a sudden it just shoots to the sky. Right. And it was the chorus. That chorus saved this song. Because, I mean, it could have very well just been a dull, good quality piece of music, but it was dull. And then it was like, now I got to write a bridge. So this is the first song that I ever like stopped, listened. You know, I wanted to release this song January 1st. And I still don't have a hard release date on it because I'm like we're trying to figure out the marketing end of it too.
Yeah.
But and I just like was like, nope, it's not ready. Let's go back in. We can tweak this. And my guys, you know, my studio musicians, you know, the first day we went into this, I was like, there's no egos. Like if you think that something will sound better, you let me know. Like, I don't play one instrument on that track.
You're just singing the whole time.
Yeah, because I sat down to do my guitar parts, and I'm a live player, so I have a little bit of trouble playing to a click. So they have to put a kick drum and a snare,
Right.
Because the fucks with me. I always lose myself.
Yeah.
And because when I'm playing live, I work off of the emotion of the song. And there's like this weird, area, and my buddy Josh, a great guitar player, he's like, "Hey man, there's no egos. Like, you mind if I take a stab at it?" And I'm like, "Oh, thank God." Like, he was like, "Oh, we just didn't want to it's your song." And I'm like, "Bro, I am not a guitar player." So he played almost everything. Danny played drums, and you played the keys on it. And it taught me to I always want to get in, record it, and I just want to get it out. I want the world to hear it. Now it's like, I know the world's going to hear this song.
Right.
So I want to make it right.
Yeah.
And you have to find a balance too. And we talked about that. Don't tweak too much.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it is like you created it that day. It is that time. But I mean, but paying attention to detail, there's nothing wrong with that. But striking a balance, because you can sit on it forever.
Well, I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. So I'm the guy that and we talk about this a lot, because I think it's because I am the person at the helm with my own music. A lot of times it's it's so much easier for me if I'm recording another artist to be like, "Hey, we did it. This is good. Let's move on, and let this be what it is." But when it's my shit,
He becomes
and I'm the guy mixing and producing and all that. I'm like, well, we could do this a little better. That vocal could be a little better right there. I just keep going and going and going and going.
He becomes a meth head.
Yeah,
he's
and then
taking apart VCRs and TVs and shit with a toothbrush.
He comes in with a catalytic converter.
Yeah, it's like
this is gonna make the bridge way better.
It's bizarre.
And
He's crawling underneath, vehicles.
And dude, it's like it's so fine of a line that it's not even there, because I mean, if you do that, then it can take some of the authenticity out of it.
It can,
and that's the scary part. So you never find the complete balancing act.
Yeah.
But you got to be happy with what you do. And know that
and there's
that
no
it is what it
perfect.
is.
There's no perfect. No such
Absolutely.
thing.
Well, I was really honored that you asked me to play on this song, and it was the first thing I thought was, I mean, it is a great song. And I think when you reached out to me about it, you hadn't finished the chorus. Maybe, isn't that right? You said something like, "I'm still writing the chorus."
Yeah, I'm still writing the chorus.
Yeah. And so you sent me something that was kind of like a rough sketch of it. And then before I was like, "Oh, I'll track on it this weekend," or whatever it was. And then you sent me the final with the chorus before I did it, and it blew my mind. It's a great song, man. I was really happy to play it.
Stoked on this chorus, because I was stumped on it for 2 days, and I had this idea of I was like, well, we're flying, we're two birds together, like
swimming.
2 sparrows in a hurricane, and that's kind of that's kind of what I was building off of, and I always do down tempo stuff, so I kind of wanted to go up a little bit, and it I think it ended up doing the song a lot of justice. So
it's a great song. Let's hear it.
yeah, let's
Check
hear
it out. Now, I just want to make sure. So, is this your solo stuff, or is this?
This is my solo project.
Okay,
This is just Bart Lattimore featuring Danny Carr.
Okay. I just want to make
the
sure.
Old North States. We'll talk about it too towards the end. But
Okay.
we're about to release a new song too, which is pretty good. So
Awesome. Cool. All right. This is "I Got You" by Bart Lattimore.
I've been running just a little too long, living out an outlaw song. Wouldn't much for planning my next move. Well, I was lost and tired when I found you. 85 Mercedes-Benz. Pack all we can, we're moving again. You got a high school friend who's gonna make some room. And I was so afraid, but I had you. We need to flying, got one broken
proud of that piece.
Yeah, you should be, man. That's a great song.
That's the shit.
Sounding good, dude.
Be proud of that. That sounded great, man.
Little shout out, man. Daniel Biggins played on that. Josh Loftus played on that, and Jason Scavone played on that.
I appreciate you having me on.
And everybody, man, it just, like I said, I think going into that was done at Elkin Sound Studios. That's Brandon Hamby. He's just old homie of mine. He's, 25, 30 minutes down the road, and he's just always wanted me. He's like, man, dude, anything, come in here.
Yeah.
If you got an idea, let's get the hell in here and lay it down.
Yeah.
And he gets a huge sound out of this little bitty room in his basement.
Yeah, those drums they sound like they're in a big room.
Yeah.
It's interesting how he got that. Yeah, and when you sent it to me, man, I was like, it was like a challenge because it already sounded so great. I was like, I just gotta do as little as possible just to make it, just to serve it, because it was. Yeah.
Yours was the thread, behind
just
everything
little
that
moments,
just kind of
yeah.
like held everything together.
Yeah, but great song, man.
Yeah, it sounds great. You laid it down. It's amazing. Yeah. I like
Yeah,
it.
like Rat. You know what I'm saying?
Rat the band.
Yeah, you said lay it down.
That's round and round, bro.
That's Cinderella, isn't it?
I don't know.
Rat did round and round, right?
Did they? Round and round.
Dude, that's Rat, dog. Look it up.
I'm not gonna look it up. That's fine. But yeah, it sounds great.
So
man.
you wrote the song? It was last year.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wrote it last year.
Okay.
And you know what's crazy? If you listen to because it's just me on my little setup at home. If you listen to the recording I did, just me and a guitar, I got this cool little hammer on that I do. That's kind of like the shining part of the guitar. And without it's a good song without the chorus. But it's kind of cool to have both. I might release both of them.
Yeah.
It's like the
acoustic
original,
demo,
like the bare bones without all the bells and whistles and the cool stuff, and release both of them. So
Well, you release a song every week, don't you, on Facebook? Because
I
keep
release
up with you.
Yeah, I release through. I do it. I do it the way you're not supposed to do it. Like, and for a long time, I was like, it was almost like my copyright. Like
Right.
if I come up with what I think is a decent tune, and my writing process is, like I was talking about, waiting the next day. Like my hugest thing is like I can sit there for 4 hours and write a great tune, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this away. I'm gonna crack a beer. I'm gonna hang out.
Right.
Kid gets home. Wife gets home. Do the family thing. Wake up the next morning, and the first thing I do is listen to it. And
Well, you're definitely prolific because if I follow you on Facebook, of course, and like almost every day you have a song. Here's a song I wrote, and you're just playing acoustic guitar. And I'm
yeah,
like, what the?
and that's what I'm saying. Like, so if it's good enough the next day, then I put it out. For one, it's almost like cataloging it, and you get the dopamine whenever people love it.
Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And but it's like kind of like a poor man's copyright in a way, and it's also kind of like cataloging. So like when I go into the studio and they're like, okay, what do you want to record? And it's like, I don't know. Like I was like, I can just go through my Facebook videos. And it's like, play that one.
Well, and it's cool too because you're giving people a taste of these songs that you have, and then when you do finally get the produced version, the studio version, it's like they've been waiting for it. They know it. They're familiar with it. You know what I mean?
And then I give them little extra gems in there that they haven't heard yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I think
you
that's
got some
kind
little
of
surprises going on.
I mean, it's like you said. That's
Like
the way, you do it the way you're not.
Cracker Jack boxes.
Yeah. But you say you're doing it the way you're not supposed to do it. But I feel like it's like the landscape's changed so much, man, with social media. If you can build traction that way, because otherwise you put music out and it's like it's just out in the ether. And how do we know that it exists? And it's like you've got people anticipating it now, And,
well, and it's also platform. Like I have so many people that are like, Facebook's dead, Meta's dead. You can use Instagram, but Facebook's dead. And it's like, it may be dead, but I mean, my manager we had tracked like what people are listening to my songs and liking my songs, and like my main demographic for my fan base is women ages 50 to 65. It's like so the boomer women are loving my music.
Right.
And I love my boomer women. I want to say that. But, and they're the ones that are on Facebook. And the thing is, like, I still release a lot of my music on Facebook because that's where all my fan base is sitting there waiting on it, you know?
Right. I still think MySpace is going to come back.
I hope so, man.
No one believes
too.
me.
What's that guy's
It's coming
name?
back.
Heyday right there.
What was his name? Like
Tom.
Tom.
Damn, Tom. Come on. Back, bro.
Nobody knows what Tom's doing anymore,
I'm
but
still
I
friends
bet he's
with him.
doing pretty well.
I think
I'm
I'm
sure.
still friends with him.
Yeah. Me and Tom, we stay in touch.
Message him and see what's up with him. I'm worried.
I'm going to
about
text him right now.
I think he's on an island
Tom.
somewhere, just
Yeah.
soaking it up. All right. Well,
Yeah, so we're looking at we're gonna release it
To be careful.
April 30th. We're definitely I think we're hard nosed on the 30th.
Okay, I was going to say be careful when you say I'm going to release this song because something always comes up and you can't.
Well, I think we're there. We were gonna release it on 420, and I didn't want to make it congruent with that day. Right. It's just like
Yeah.
So I was like, let's wait till the end of the month
Yeah.
and get all our ducks in a row. I've got some people that I've been, we're trying to like maybe get it on like CMT After Dark or something like that. Okay. And I'm talking with somebody at XM Radio trying to get it on XM. I want to make sure when I release this one that I'm not just throwing it on Spotify, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do have a fan base, but I need to build my fan base more. So I'm trying to maximize my opportunities with this release. So
I mean, if you went, hard to the paint with 420, you might.
it might be.
able to maximize.
That's 10 days ahead of schedule though.
I mean, well, my whole thing is too. It's like I wouldn't get stoned and listen to this tune.
Never.
I was just kidding, Bart. I love you.
You're not even drinking, dude.
I know. Shit.
Oh, he's drinking.
He comes out of the box this way,
He's
man. That's
drinking.
just... All right, so you want to perform your other song? You down with that?
Yeah, I'm down with it.
All right.
All right, here we go. This is called Outside Dog. First of all, I want to preface by saying, so one of my best friends, he's like the guy that you're always like, man, I hope he's okay. And then when he calls you, you're like, whew,
Yeah.
he's all right,
Yeah.
But he called me one day. He always calls me. He's got this crazy laugh. He's like, hey, Bart. I'm like, what's up, J-boy? He's like, hey, man, you know what, dude? I done figured it out. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, I figured out why I don't fit in this world like I'm supposed to. I said, why? He said, because I'm an outside dog. And I was like, dude, can I please use that for a song? He was like,
yeah.
so I got to give credit where credit's due.
Okay.
My buddy, J. Lou Choir, told me he was an outside dog. So I wrote this song. Well, I'm an outside dog. Been told all my life. I'm almost the same as being tame, but I can't sleep inside. Well, the nights under this old front porch, well, they're cold and dark and long. But I'll greet you in the morning. Well, I'm an outside dog. I keep the neighbors up, just howling at the moon. Well, I've been down to the city pound at least a time or two. Some folks, they will pet me, but most just leave me alone. But I don't mean no harm. Well, I'm an outside dog. Days are long when you're forgotten, but I never feel left behind. With table scraps and creek water, well, my tail's wagging all the time. And I'll be right here in the driveway when you get home. Well, though I'm tattered and worn, well, my love is strong. Well, I'm an outside dog. I ain't in no family photos. You never take me for a ride. But every time you walk that property line, well, I'm right by your side. When my time is up on this piece of land and the doggy Jesus calls me home, well, it's a different kind of pain, losing an outside dog. The days are long when you're forgotten, but I never feel left behind. With table scraps and creek water, well, my tail's wagging all the time. And I'll be right here in the driveway when you get home. Well, though I'm tattered and worn, well, my love is strong. Though I'm tattered and worn, well, my love is strong. Well, I'm an outside dog.
I was gonna ask you. So I
That's
would
great,
feel
man.
so fucking uncomfortable sitting right there, like just with and three dudes sitting in front of you while playing that. Like you're like a true showman. You're comfortable doing all that shit.
Well,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I've always kind of like, I mean, I get nervous, you know, and like,
Yeah.
and especially like my whole thing is I go in a little headstrong, and then I get midway through it, like I'm pretty sure I left a verse out.
Well, that's fine, but like you just seem comfortable doing that, and I was like, while you were playing that, I was like, "There's no fucking way I could do that with us," and I felt bad because I was like, "I think we're being assholes, like sitting so close to you, like while you're
Nah,
trying."
dude, not at all. I mean, that's what
Okay.
that's comes with the job, you know, as a front man.
Yeah.
Like it comes with the job, and I mean, I like it. You know?
Yeah, well,
Stroke
you're
my
really
ego.
you're really good at it.
You are,
Like you're
man.
very comfortable.
Were
It's-
you the guy, or do you still do this kind of thing where it's just like you're hanging out with people and doing whatever, like sitting around like on a Friday night drinking and hanging out, and you'll grab the guitar and you're just gonna sing for your friends? I mean, is that how you kind of got started? Do you feel like
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Where it's like there's a difference. You know, it's like I remember like going to parties in high school, and there'd always be that guy that just kind of has the acoustic guitar sitting off to the side and just picks it up and plays the song everybody knows. You know what I
Right,
mean? And I
right,
feel
right.
like that's a similar setting. It's like we're just all sitting around playing songs.
Absolutely,
It doesn't matter.
and that's
if you
how
think
I
about
came
it
up.
like that.
And you know, it's you gotta you gotta have a little bit of. It's got to be tasteful, you know. Like I can vibe the room out, you know. If like if the party's if it's like kind of like, hey, you know what, this might be a great time for me to pull out and play something that people will know. And,
yeah.
you know, and now I'm at the point where if I go to parties, people are like, hey, man, I don't want to, like, you know, I know this is like your job and stuff, but will you play us a song? And it's like, dude, yes, I'll play this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I love playing for people.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that's why we do it. You know, we write it for ourselves, but the way we write it for ourselves is for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know, you got to think about the origin of, you know, where it came from.
Absolutely.
You know?
Right.
And it's just like, you know, folks being around campfires and shit. You know,
Especially
Yeah.
country music,
like
because
long,
it's bluegrass.
long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, sitting around and like, you know, just creating like a good vibe and good energy. You know, and you know, maybe, you know, when they made like instruments that were fretted, you know, I don't know, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, you know, but like, you know, a long time ago, people started sitting around campfires and entertaining and creating good vibes with people.
Absolutely. Do you think about like the colonizers? They always had a guy like had a violin or a harmonica or something, you know, and even like going to, you know, like the roots of bluegrass music, which is to me is a heavy roots of country music. Is bluegrass.
Right.
I mean, those guys, some of the best bluegrass pickers will never record a tune. Because they just sit with their buddies. And this is one thing I've learned too. I'm a singer-songwriter. And I've tried to play with bluegrass pickers. And I know the chords, but I do not know how to play bluegrass.
Right,
Bluegrass is its own
Genre.
That right
It's its
hand,
own
man.
monster.
Yeah.
So
That's true. That's true.
So is that song? Is that your song or Old North State?
That's gonna be a solo song. My
Okay.
my guys, they wanna write Southern rock, you know.
Okay.
And we do have some slow songs, but this one, just the way it's written, it's gonna be more me. And I mean,
Yeah.
when I record this song, I don't know how much production's gonna be on it. You know,
It's fine just like that.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be pretty.
Just release that. So
probably
he'll
gonna be-
send the files to you, and it's fucking.
Release it.
And there's video for it too.
With
so
Stacy
you're
going,
done.
I love that shit.
Yeah, so you're done. That's the way it should be.
All right, so let's everybody. So you want to grab one that's you want to stick your dirty fingers in the brine.
Stacy, you can be all right with this?
Make sure you get all the finger drippings in there.
So I'm doing it.
Hey,
Make sure you get one that's not too soft, because a lot of people like the soft ones.
This one's pretty crunchy.
So what we do is you look for the
crown.
for the seam, and I take it, and you just bust it along the seam.
Almost like edamame.
I call it redneck edamame.
Okay.
You crack it open.
Yeah.
Look, mine, I did perfect.
Oh
So
shit.
you pull
That's because you got experience.
Pull the
You
meat out.
practice, bro.
and I will say,
Those are actually really good.
dude, they're really
delicious,
good.
man.
They've got like it almost tastes like a bean. I've had people say it's like a potato.
Yeah,
almost got a
I can
potato.
get the potato.
Oh, we took the
Crack it
Cajun.
open.
We took the Cajun and made hummus out of it.
Oh,
A little bit
nice.
of olive oil, a little bit of extra spices.
Oh, like a chickpea, like chickpeas. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
The Cajun hummus is so good.
Damn.
We also did, so you know how the picklebacks were big? We did Cajun peanut juice backs for Jameson. And we're just trying, they're so good, dude. I mean, here's the thing.
It's a potato.
Yeah.
It kind of tastes
It's
like
got a potato vibe to it. Here's the thing is like, the company knows that there are people out there that are going to be like, I just, the consistency and they're slimy and this and that. But the other half who like them cannot stop eating them.
Yeah.
You know, they're like addictive. Like if you can sit and eat a whole can with no problem.
So can you eat the shell too?
There are people,
That will eat the whole shell.
I think they're shock value cats, you know what I mean? They come up and they're like, I eat the shell. And it's like, yeah, dude, you're tough. You're also going to have a really bad bowel movement. So.
I already have.
No one needs that much fiber, bro.
I already have those. I don't want any more of that.
I put enough things in my body to destroy my BMs.
I want some. Shit. Give me that shell, bro. Fuck, I don't care.
Here, this will warm you up.
All right. I'm gonna.
They are.
I'm one of these people that would.
They're like addicted.
Yeah, I'd eat the whole thing. I've already had.
If you eat the Cajun, if you like any kind of spice, like this is just salty nuts. Man, you get a whole
nickname
bowl
in
of
high
Cajun. That was when I played collegiate ball. They called me Spicy Nuts. That was Leeser. Back in '51, he played the first football game ever.
The true leatherhead. The leather helmet.
His first jersey's worth 10 grand.
That's 41, bro. It's not 51. Fuck that shit, dude.
These are good.
They are good.
I'm like addicted to them.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
I haven't had
love
one in a
it. It
while.
tastes good.
Telling you, you like those, dude. Go for the Cajun.
They're great.
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
man. Glad I got to get the lesson on that shit. 'Cause I'm gonna be getting these all the time.
They are good.
We're in over 20,000 gas stations across Southeast. We're in every Walmart store across the country.
They have the pots.
The pots you get in the gas stations, we sell them in the big cans,
Yeah.
the medium sized cans, and like the medium size like what you had, and then just like a regular can. Which is, I found out if you take like the small can
Yeah.
and you open it up and you put it in one of our cups, it's pretty much like one serving that you get from the gas station.
And you're on the back. Your picture.
Yeah,
Is on the
I
back
am,
of the
forever
cans.
immortalized.
That's
in,
right.
in cartoon form.
It's your legacy. It's your legacy.
It is, well, I hope not. Let's hope it's part of my legacy.
That's not a bad one though.
Right.
Nah, it ain't. Dude, I've always said, like, I want to be the Ernest P. Worrell of 2024. You know, like I want to have my outfit. I want to be the funny guy because you know, I'm sure he knows he was in his 40s when Ernest P. Worrell was big. So.
When the world was created.
But he did like he didn't just do the movies. He did a lot of like commercial acting and promotional stuff.
Right.
So like back in the 80s, everybody's like, let's get Ernest on our commercial. So that's kind of why I want to.
Is it not Vern P. Worrell? Am I making that up? God damn, I
got a
make
computer
shit
right
up
there.
all the time. I know, but I'm terrible.
Worrell was his
The
last name.
actor that played Ernest P. Worrell.
See, Worrell was the character name.
Oh, that's what it was. Vern.
Jim Varney.
Jim
That's
Varney.
what it is.
There was a V in there.
Jim Varney.
Okay.
Oh, so you saying I'm Jim Barney?
No, I'm saying that you were old when Jim Varney was young.
But I used to, I love that. Like Ernest Goes to Camp. He'd get up and he'd always have some kind of like weird like the game Mousetrap, like some contraption that to like
Every
to make his
time.
breakfast and shit. And he'd just like go look for his clothes and it'd just be like same outfit
Same
over and over.
outfit. Yeah. Dude, and I want to go ahead and I want to go down on camera saying that Ernest Scared Stupid is the best Ernest movie. So we got me.
So
saying
now I'm
that
gonna
on
watch
camera.
it tonight. So
Ernest Scared Stupid.
I'm
it's
gonna
the
watch
best.
it.
Go back and watch those movies and just see how sweaty he is in all those scenes. He like that was like those were so low budget. Like that motherfucker was drenched in sweat.
They had no makeup.
no
team.
makeup.
on those sets.
It's like when you watch like old episodes of Cheers, and you see Tony.
Tony Danza.
Not
No.
Tony.
Tony the Tiger.
Samantha.
Same thing.
Angela.
Motherfuckers eating Rice Krispies and shit. Fuck.
No, Ted Danson.
That's the same guy, dude.